Let's get more on this now from Rich Jaroslovsky in San Francisco. He's the Vice President for Content and Chief Journalist at SmartNews. He's also a tech columnist for theobserver.com. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I think it's quite fitting that we are speaking via Skype for this story, but the technology really has changed the way we do things, hasn't it? Not only for TV networks like ours, but also for businesses and individuals. I mean, tell us how it has changed the way we communicate.
Well, back in the pre-internet days, the idea of having a video conference was the stuff of science fiction. You'd go to world fairs and you would see telephones that had screens. And so people for generations had this dream. And Skype is really the product that made that dream come true. Not using telephones, but using PCs and using the internet. But it definitely realized a long-held ambition of people to be able to see who they were talking to.
Yes, and we know that Skype has spawned many imitators. Apple has FaceTime, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger and Viber all have video calling features. But how can Skype now continue in that environment to remain relevant and I guess importantly, profitable?
Well, it's become very, very difficult. I mean, once upon a time, Skype was a verb like Google. You talked about Skyping people, and some people still do, but less and less, just the way you talk now still about Googling something. When a product is a verb, that gives it a huge leg up. But largely through problems not of its own making, Skype has kind of lost that edge. It was owned by eBay for a long time, which didn't seem to know quite what to do with it. Now it's owned by Microsoft, and to a certain extent is suffering from the fact that Microsoft has failed to develop its own successful mobile devices. So Skype now has to reinvent itself for a world in which, outside of Windows PCs, it doesn't control the environment.
Interesting. Okay, so what do you see as the next big thing when it comes to personal communication? Can we expect anything that was as groundbreaking as video calling 15 years ago?
Well, it's hard to see right now. I think what we're entering is a period of ubiquitous computing where connectivity isn't just an app, but is something that surrounds you, and it becomes less and less relevant what you're using to do it. For example, here in my office in San Francisco, we have an Amazon Echo Show, and we can at any point drop in on our Tokyo office simply by walking past and saying to Alexa, connect us with Tokyo. That kind of ubiquitous connectivity is going to be a huge challenge for Skype because it doesn't control any one platform. My suspicion is that what will happen is that Skype as a product will go away, although its underlying technologies, which are highly useful, will increasingly find their way into other Microsoft products, as indeed they already have.
Interesting. Let's watch and wait. Rich Jaroslovsky in San Francisco. Thank you.